We have already seen the nucleophilic substitution reactions of aryl halides, and now let us see the electrophilic substitution reactions of aryl halides. Aryl halides participate in electrophilic substitution reactions less readily than benzene, because in aryl halides halogen atom is minus I group. Its minus I power is more than the plus M power. That's why the minus I power deactivates the benzene ring and decreases the electron density of the benzene ring. Thereby, chlorobenzene or any aryl halide participate in electrophilic substitution reaction slower than the benzene. Now let us see what is the effect of the halogen atom on incoming electrophile. If you take benzene, in benzene all 6 hydrogens are identical. Any of these things can be removed by the electrophile. Any of these 6 hydrogens can be replaced by the incoming electrophile. So only one product is possible. If you take chlorobenzene, in chlorobenzene all remaining 5 positions are not identical. Only 5 positions are left. The remaining 5 positions are not identical. These two are called ortho positions. This is ortho to this. This is ortho. This is meta. This is meta. This is called para position. Now when chlorobenzene is subjected to electrophilic substitution, the incoming electrophile is directed by the chlorine atom which is already present on the benzene ring. I will show you how it is directing to which positions it directs the incoming electrophile. You take this chlorobenzene. In chlorobenzene, we have lone pair of electrons. The lone pair is in conjugation with pi electrons. Thereby, the pi electrons moves towards the next position, that is ortho position to chlorine. Here double bond character, chlorine is getting positive charge, this is negative charge, double bond, double bond. Now when this negative charge comes here, the negative charge is moving on to para position. Negative charge moving on to para position, double bond Cl plus. Then this negative charge moves here. So negative charge is appearing at ortho and para positions in the resonating structures. So if you look at the resonating structures, the ortho and para positions are found to be rich in electrons. So whenever chlorobenzene is subjected for further electrophilic substitution or any halobenzene is subjected for further electrophilic substitution, the incoming electrophile goes to either ortho position or para position where the electron density is more than the meta position. Let us see the electrophilic substitution reactions of chlorobenzene. This is chlorobenzene. Now it is subjected to electrophilic substitution reactions. The first one is halogenation with FeCl3 or AlCl3. It requires drastic conditions than benzene because chlorine is minus I group. It is deactivating benzene ring towards electrophilic substitution. These two will provide you chloronium ion. That chloronium ion otherwise will go and attack either ortho position or para position to give ortho dichlorobenzene, para dichlorobenzene. This is 1,2 dichlorobenzene. This is 1,4 dichlorobenzene. 1,2 dichlorobenzene is also called ortho dichlorobenzene. 1,2 dichlorobenzene is also called ortho dichlorobenzene. This is para dichlorobenzene. This is 1,2 dichlorobenzene. This is 1,4 dichlorobenzene. Remember, chlorobenzene requires drastic conditions than benzene. for electrophilic substitution because of its minus psi effect. Now let us take nitration. When it is treated with nitric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid, it provides nitronium ion. The mixture will provide nitronium ion. The incoming nitronium ion will attack either ortho position or para position. This is ortho nitrochlorobenzene, otherwise you can call 1-chloro 2-nitrobenzene and 1-chloro 4-nitrobenzene. Remember, 1,2 product is less stable than 1,4 product. This is minor product, this is major product, because in ortho positions the repulsions are more. So because of the repulsions, this is minor product, this is major product. Always ortho product is minor product here and this is major product. This is chlorination, this is nitration. This here chloronium ion is going to displacing the H plus at ortho position or para position to give 1,2-dichlorobenzene or 1 and 1,4-dichlorobenzene. 1,4-dichlorobenzene is major product and 1,2-dichlorobenzene is minor product, and here you are getting 1-chloro 2-nitrobenzene and 1-chloro 4-nitrobenzene. Among them 1-chloro 2-nitrobenzene is minor and this is major because here repulsions are minimum. Now let us take up next reaction, electrophilic substitution reaction, that is sulfonation. If it is heated with sulfuric acid, the sulfonium ion go to either ortho position or para position. Orthochlorobenzene sulfonic acid and parachlorobenzene sulfonic acid you will get. The sulfonic group goes to either ortho position or para position. This is concentrated sulfuric acid or even fuming sulfuric acid you can take. This is orthochlorobenzene sulfonic acid. This is minor product. This is parachlorobenzene sulfonic acid. This is major product. This is major product. So that is sulfonation. So in sulfonation also ortho product is minor product and the para product is major product. After that, alkylation. Let us take methyl chloride and AlCl3. So this will provide you a methyl carbocation which functions as an electrophile. Now the methyl carbocation can go to either ortho position or para position. As a result of that, you will get orthochlorotoluene or 1-chloro 2-methylbenzene, orthochlorotoluene as minor product and parachlorotoluene as major product. This is sulfonation, this is alkylation. In sulfonation, you are getting orthochlorobenzene sulfonic acid, parachlorobenzene sulfonic acid. In alkylation, you are getting orthochlorotoluene and parachlorotoluene. Ortho product is always minor product and para product is always major product. Now let us take up acylation. In acylation, chlorobenzene is made to react with acid chloride in presence of AlCl3, which provides you acylium carbocation that will go to either ortho position or para position. So this is orthochloroacetophenone minor product plus parachloroacetophenone as major product. The ortho product is always minor product and para product is always major product, because in ortho product there are repulsions between the 1,2 position substituents. That's why ortho product is always minor product and para product is always major product. These are the electrophilic substitution reactions. You have seen electrophilic substitution reactions with respect to what chlorination, then nitration, then sulfonation, then alkylation, then acylation. So ortho product is major product and para product is minor product. Now let us see reaction with metals. And the first one is Wurtz-Fittig reaction. In Wurtz-Fittig reaction, the halobenzene is made to react with metallic sodium and another alkyl halide in either medium. Then we get alkyl benzene along with 2NaX. This is alkyl benzene. This is called Wurtz-Fittig reaction, in which halobenzene made to react with metallic sodium with alkyl halide, mixture of aryl and alkyl halides. This is aryl halide, this is alkyl halide. Mixture of aryl and alkyl halides is made to react with metallic sodium to give alkyl benzene. This is called Wurtz-Fittig reaction. Another one is Fittig reaction. In Fittig reaction, 2 moles of aryl halide, say chlorobenzene, is made to react with metallic sodium to give diphenyl or biphenyl. This reaction is called, I told you, Fittig reaction. Both Wurtz-Fittig reaction and Fittig reaction have similarity with Wurtz reaction. So with this we have seen the reaction with metals. These are the important properties of aryl halides. Students, we have completed alkyl halides, aryl halides. Now let us see polyhalogen compounds. Polyhalogen compounds contains more than one halogen atom. For example, the first one is, I will give you the first one, methylene chloride or dichloromethane. Methylene chloride or dichloromethane formula CH2Cl2, which we have seen when methane is subjected to chlorination, it is formed as a second product, dichloromethane. When 2 hydrogens have been replaced by 2 chlorines, you got methylene chloride. Now dichloromethane or methylene chloride has industrial importance mostly. What is the industrial importance? It is used as a solvent. In most of the chemical reactions and in industries, it is used as a solvent. It is a paint remover. It is a paint remover used as a propellant in aerosols. So these are the 3 important uses. I repeat, used as a solvent in many chemical reactions, used as a paint remover, used as a propellant in aerosols. Now coming to its exposure, it harms human central nervous system, and at the same time, if we come directly in contact with methylene chloride, it causes intense burning and redness to the skin. Mostly methylene chloride or dichloromethane has industrial importance. So next compound is chloroform. Chloroform is trichloromethane. Now trichloromethane is mostly used as a solvent in organic reactions for many alkalides and iodine. At the same time, chloroform is in the ancient days used as an anesthetic. So used for anesthesia purpose. But there is a small problem with chloroform. Chloroform, when exposed to atmosphere, it will combine with oxygen of atmosphere and forms a poisonous compound called phosgene, COCl2, and HCl. It undergoes atmospheric oxidation. Chloroform reacts with oxygen to form phosgene, a poisonous compound, and gives hydrochloric acid. So this is, if such a chloroform is used for anesthetic purpose, the patient will be having lot of damage to be done with the chloroform, such a chloroform. So this is oxidized chloroform. So chloroform, when exposed to atmosphere, it undergoes atmospheric oxidation to produce a poisonous compound called phosgene, which is toxic in nature. If such a chloroform is used for anesthetic purpose, that will damage the person who is taking the chloroform as an anesthetic. Now let us see how to recognize that chloroform has become toxic by undergoing atmospheric oxidation. To a small sample of such a chloroform, add AgNO3. AgNO3 reacts with the HCl formed during the oxidation and forms AgCl precipitation. AgCl precipitation along with nitric acid. The white precipitation which has produced here will indicate that chloroform has undergone oxidation because silver nitrate combining immediately with HCl when you added producing AgCl. Now, how to prevent the atmospheric oxidation? Normally, chloroform is placed in dark amber color bottles, by filling up to the neck and tightly keeping the lid. By tightly keeping the lid, chloroform can be prevented from atmospheric oxidation. So, chloroform is used in anesthetic, but it should be used very carefully. So, nowadays less toxic anesthetic is used in place of chloroform in the form of ether. Next one, iodoform. Iodoform is CHI3. It is a yellow color solid. It is used as an antiseptic. The antiseptic nature of iodoform is because of its ability to give free iodine. It liberates free iodine, that is why it is used as a antiseptic. Next one, carbon tetrachloride is also used as a solvent in many reactions. The other one is CF2Cl2. This is called Freon. Difluoro-dichloromethane, which is prepared by reacting carbon tetrachloride through Schwarz reaction. COF2 or 2AgF will give you CF2Cl2, dichloro-difluoromethane. It is known as Freon or Freon 12. So, it is, we know that it is when present in stratosphere, it is responsible for depletion of ozone layer. It is used as a refrigerant. So, from carbon tetrachloride, that CF2Cl2 is prepared through Schwarz reaction. When carbon tetrachloride is made to react with cobalt difluoride or silver fluoride, we are getting CF2Cl2, which is used as a refrigerant, and it is responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer. One more important polyhalogen compound is DDT. DDT means dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. This is an insecticide. Dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane. This is the carbon atom. This is another carbon atom. Now, several questions can be asked on this DDT. Here, 3 chlorines are attached to sp3 carbon, 2 chlorines are attached to sp2 carbon. So, they may ask you what is the total number of pi bonds present in DDT. They will not give you the structure, they just ask you number of pi bonds present in DDT. Every benzene ring will have 3 pi bonds, 3 plus 3, 2 phenyl rings, each will have 3. So, you will get 6 pi bonds are there. How many sigma bonds are there in DDT? They can ask you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They may ask you another question. How many sigma and pi bonds are there? Otherwise, the ratio of sigma and pi bonds, I will tell you. This is sigma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Like that, you have to count the number of sigma bonds and you have to put them there. So, learning the structure is very important here. And just for a sample, I told you that how many pi bonds are there in a molecule of DDT. Another question they can ask, what is the degree of unsaturation of DDT? Degree of unsaturation means number of pi bonds as well as number of rings. So, here for this one, this is 3 pi bonds in one ring. So, 4 plus 4, 8. Degree of unsaturation is 8, you can call. You can say degree of unsaturation is 8. So, DDT structure is, learning DDT structure is very important in competitive examination point of view. Okay students, I would like to discuss few objective type questions basing on these aspects. See this problem. a hydrocarbon C5H10 which cannot decolorize bromine water and Bayer's reagent. You all know that Bayer's reagent is cold dilute alkaline potassium permanganate is subjected to chlorination to get only one monochloro derivative, which can give only one monochloro derivative. Then how many structurally isomeric dichloro derivatives are possible for that particular compound? So let us see, C5H10 is representing the general formula CnH2n, which is possible for both alkenes and cycloalkanes. Look here, if it is an alkene, it must decolorize bromine water, it must decolorize Bayer's reagent. It is not decolorizing bromine water and Bayer's reagent means it is not an alkene. It must be a cycloalkane, and the possible cycloalkanes are cyclopentane, methyl cyclobutane, 2,2-dimethyl cyclopropane, 1,2-dimethyl cyclopropane, ethyl cyclopropane. You have 5. So this can give more than one monochloro derivative, this can give more than one monochloro derivative, this can give more than one monochloro derivative, this can give more than one monochloro derivative. So that's why you cannot consider these things into consideration. Only this one has all 10 hydrogens in identical conditions. All 10 hydrogens are identical. Replacement of any one of the hydrogens is giving you only one monochloro derivative, that is chlorocyclopentane. So this compound is now cyclopentane, C5H10 is cyclopentane. Now if it is subjected to chlorination, how many dichloro derivatives are possible? Let us see that. I'll remove this particular part and I'll try to write down here. So cyclopentane, when subjected to chlorination, how many dichloro products are possible? You can keep 2 chlorines on first carbon, you can keep 1 chlorine here, 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane, you can keep 1 chlorine here, 1,3-dichlorocyclopentane, 1,1-dichlorocyclopentane, 1,2-dichlorocyclopentane, 1,3-dichlorocyclopentane. Now if you look at this, this is a dichloro derivative, this is also a dichloro derivative, this is also a dichloro derivative. So if you keep chlorine here, once again you are getting 1,3-dichlorocyclopentane. That's why only 2 dichloro derivatives are possible. Now, so the answer is 1, 2, 3, because I am not considering the stereoisomers, excluding stereoisomers. Then how many structurally, I said that how many structurally isomeric dichloro derivatives, only structural isomers you have to consider. These are the 3 cyclopentane derivatives you will get. Consider this particular reaction. This is 2-chloro-2-methyl butane. When it is heated with alcoholic AOH, it produced A and B, and I said that A is subjected to reductive ozonolysis to get formaldehyde. Then along with C is formed. Then the number of hyperconjugation structures for B. My question is, number of hyperconjugate structures for B, is it 6 or 8 or 9 or 4? Answer. Look at this, this is the alpha carbon. You have how many types of beta hydrogens? This is one beta hydrogen, this is another beta hydrogen, these two are identical beta hydrogens. Now what you get is, this is A, Hoffman's product, let us write CH2, this is dehydrohalogenation, this represents dehydrohalogenation. So I can remove hydrogen chloride from this, then what will you get is, the product formed is CH2 double bond C, CH3, CH2, CH3, this is one product, that is Hoffman's product. Then B, another product you will get beta 1 and Cl, hydrogen from this one and Cl from this one, you will get CH3, CCH3 double bond CH3. Now A on ozonolysis giving formaldehyde. This can be A or this can be A. On reductive ozonolysis, it gives acetone and acetaldehyde. This is only giving you formaldehyde. That means B is this compound for you. Now, B has how many hyperconjugate structures? This is a vinylic carbon, this is a vinylic carbon. These are the alpha hydrogens, alpha 1, alpha 2 and alpha 3, each having 3 hydrogens on it. So, 3 3 is 9, 3 into 3, 9 hyperconjugation structures, because number of hyperconjugate structures for any alkene is equal to number of alpha hydrogens, that is why it is C. C is the answer.